Okay, so this is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, any percent, no save and quit, no wrong or no out of bounds. Um, it's quite a complicated rule set. No save and quit, meaning you obviously can't save and quit. However, you can bring up the save and quit menu, which will actually be used throughout a lot of the run, which you'll see later. So no wrong warp, meaning you can't transition to an developer unintended location, and no out of bounds means you can't go 2 tiles away from a normally accessible tile. Alright, so we're gonna go up to the sword here. I actually took a hit there by accident. However, that hit was intentional, so yeah, that's what we call early sword. You damage boost off of that urchin to get closer than the sword than you're closer to the sword than you're supposed to be able to, and then you can grab it before the owl appears, and it saves like half a second. Alright, so now that we have the sword, we can go back again to where we need to go. So I'm just gonna try to kill any enemies that get in my way. I'm gonna try to cut through these bushes here. There's like a 1 in 4 chance that the bottom Octorok moves left, and if that happens, you can't cut through the bushes. Waste like half a second. Alright, now we get to the best character in this entire game, the owl. He talks a lot. Hello, Rihanna. Thank you for the good luck. So I guess this would be a good time for donations. We're just gonna move through these enemies here, get through the forest. And we're coming up on this cave here, and I'm gonna do a spin slash to hit both of those crystals, and that means I don't have to go around. So for every chest we open in this game, we're gonna open the save and quit menu to skip the text that the chest gives you. It saves like some frames, but it adds up a lot. Alright, so this is Moblin skip. We need the Moblin to face up first of all. Then we like just bump into him with the shield to move him down. Then move into the pit, and he'll just hit us over it. Alright, this is Owl Skip. I opened the item menu a frame after opening the chest, and then buffer a save and quit menu out of that, and that lets me skip the owl text. That saves like 5 seconds. So now we're leaving the forest again, because the only reason we came here was for the owl key, or the tail key rather. Hey FF, thank you for the good luck. So now we're gonna go up to the trendy game, which is pretty easy to fail, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna do a safe strat for it, so it's basically unfailable, unless you're a standard. Alright, and now we wait for this to to get over here. I speak English, I promise. And now we leave again. It's actually kind of ironic because we only use the powder in one room in the entire game. Alright, so we're gonna steal the shovel because obviously we don't have the money to buy it. Gonna take a death because of it, but that's actually fine. Because we spawn right back here at the shop again. So I'm gonna buy 2 sets of bombs. Actually open my save and quit menu near the shopkeeper to skip the text. Whoops. And we're gonna steal the bow. This time not taking a death because we won't re-enter. Actually screwed that up a little. It's kind of finicky with the timing for the shopkeeper. Sometimes he turns back around for no reason. Oops, my down input dropped. It's okay. So now we're gonna make our way to Dungeon 1. And you'll see me get some arbitrary kills here. That's so we can route something called Piece of Power. which you'll see later, and it's based on how many kills you have. Alright, so coming up on D1 here, I'm gonna put in the key from the side because the game actually doesn't check whether or not you're underneath whether or not you're under the keyhole, but it only checks if you're facing the same way as it. And if you are, then you can just put it in from the side. So I'm gonna try to kill all 4 of these bats with one spin slash. I got hit by the mini molder, that's okay. Alright, so the start of Dungeon 1 isn't particularly interesting. It's kind of just move through the dungeon, get to the feather. I'm gonna bump these guys with my shield, and oh, that's a new one. I was trying to bump both of them, but I missed the top one. I could have killed both of them with one spin slash, but I failed. Alright, so we're gonna move up here, damage boost through these guys, and get the Rock's Feather. I actually forgot to menu for that. It's okay. Normally I do that before, it doesn't really matter. Alright, now we're going back. And again, we're not allowed to save and quit, so we have to backtrack. I'm gonna kill this guy, move through here, get this key from the chest. Hopefully that mini molder doesn't hit me. Alright, he doesn't. And I'm gonna do something called a super jump here. Basically, I face the wall, push into it, then I jump, I face the other way, and use bow, sword, or fire rod, and that makes the game think you're on a ledge, but you really aren't, and you can just jump in midair. It's gonna be used a lot to completely break the game, and skip like half of the game basically. Alright, so I open my menu there to skip the boss text, and also equip sword. And that was Moldorm. He's actually the hardest boss of the game, believe it or not. At least for the speedrun he is. Alright, so that was Dungeon 1. Also for the mini-boss, I just kill him with 2 arrows, because that's basically how weak the mini-bosses are in this game. For most of them, you can just hit 2 arrows at them and they'll die. Alright, coming out of Dungeon 1, I guess I'll talk a little bit about feather movement, because it's actually the fastest form of movement in the game. Because normally when you walk diagonally, you'll walk 12 subpixels per frame, but when you jump diagonally with the feather, it's 16, which is also the speed of movement in straight lines, making it really fast. Fun fact, these guys normally have like 7 text boxes, but you can skip all of them by pressing B. Alright, so I'm gonna get a lot of kills in the forest here, so I can get my piece of power in Dungeon 2 later. And I'm currently, doing pretty good for my regular kill count. Like, I'm on the amount of kills I usually have here, which is good. I'm gonna try to, I tried to, like, jump past that harpies there because picking it up is slow and very shameful. So yeah, coming up here, Moblin Cave, basically we just get through here, kill the Moblins, and get to the Moblin King, which we're gonna try to do a 2 cycle on. He shoots either 2 or 4, like between 2 and 4 arrows each time, and we just do a spin slash, then hit him a couple times. Do that twice and he's dead. He takes 8 hits. And spin slash is count for 2. So, now we'll get Bow Wow. Bow Wow is a blessing and a curse. He's gonna, like, eat a lot of enemies for us. That's gonna help a lot with piece of power routing. However, if he eats too much, we'll get piece of power early and not in a dungeon, which is really bad. Alright, gonna do something called a flock clip here. If you clip into the wall and like push into it, when you like get the text box for a rock, you can just clip into the wall even farther, and you oh whoops, I screwed that menu a little. You can clip into the wall even farther and just walk straight past it. Okay. Also, menuing in this game is very important. If you screw up a single menu, sometimes that can screw up the entire run, because at least if you're a good runner, you'll usually have a menu route, and if you screw up a menu, that your menu will be different than what it's supposed to be, and your muscle memory will get thrown off, and you'll have to react to your menus. And menuing is basically what separates a good runner from a top runner. Well, not necessarily good and top runners, just okay runners and good runners, I guess I should say. Because if you're a good runner, you'll be very practiced with your menu route, whereas if you're an okay runner, you'll usually just don't have a menu route at all, or you're not very good at it yet. So for that mini boss, using Piece of Power, you can just hit him 4 times and they'll die. This is Ghost Skip. We can just hit the ghosts when they're on that side of the screen, and they'll just like go out of bounds and die, basically. And that's the wrong menu. I pressed the wrong button. So I guess I haven't talked about Piece of Power yet. Basically, Piece of Power gives you a 25% speed boost movement-wise, and it also doubles your damage and gives you a knockback effect. I'm not getting very good RNG in that room. So we want Piece of Power to drop in dungeons 2, 3, 5, and 6. And it's very carefully routed out. Also, for that boss key room, you have to kill the enemies in a certain order in order for the chest to pop up. I'm gonna do a tricky jump here. Oh, I actually jumped late. Interesting. This is not going very well. That's okay. Alright, this is Bottle Genie. He's the second boss. I'm just gonna do a quick kill on him, because if you clip into the wall, instead of having to throw him at the wall 3 times, the pot will break after their first time, and you can just kill him like that. So I clip into the wall, pick him up, throw him into the wall. The pot will break. I'm gonna put down a bomb that will knock him towards me, and I can use a bomb arrow to finish him off. It's a pretty cool quick kill. And that's dungeon 2. Okay. So when I leave dungeon 2, I'm actually gonna clip into the wall, and I can just walk straight past the flowers, and I don't have to wait for Bow to eat them. Just like that. So I'm gonna be counting kills on the way to dungeon 3, because that's gonna be important for Piece of Power in dungeon 3. So I'm at 1 kill right now. Let's see how many I get all in all. Bow can't eat these guys. So this is 2. That's gonna be 3. I'm 1 kill low on what compared to what I usually have. So I have 4 kills right now. He's gonna eat either 1 or 2 on this screen, putting me at 5 or 6. I'm at 5 kills, so I just need to remember that. Okay, so coming up is a trick called Villa Skip. Basically, I'm listening for an audio cue, which is the link falling sound, like you hear it there. So I guess I'll just explain it completely. Basically, I keep pausing on the pit, and eventually the game will move me a little bit down, because Link is like falling into the pit. That was horrible movement. I don't know how I did that. And I'll be able to transition on the pit and skip a pretty long side quest. I'm also trying to do something called Villa Escape here. It's not going very well. It's okay though. Yeah, Villa Skip is also a very RNG based trick. because it's based on a global frame rule, basically meaning every other frame is a global frame, and you can only transition or like fall into pits on global frames. So you just need to get lucky. Oops. Alright, Dungeon 3. I'm gonna throw a pot at the door to open it. I'm actually gonna take an intentional hit in this room to manipulate acorn count. I actually got an acorn there, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever gotten an acorn in that room. So kill these guys to manipulate piece of power. Do a super jump here. This bat actually isn't gonna die. I actually failed the super jump. This is not going well. Come on. This is not a hard super jump. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. The bat's not gonna die because like kills don't count in this game until you see the death animation finish. So that's another acorn. Piece of power is gonna drop in this room. There it is. Pick up the key, and we're gonna do something called the dongo skip, or as I like to call it, dong skip. So you can actually soft lock on that skip if you're too slow or if you do it wrong. So we have a rule for races where if you soft lock, which you can do in a couple of places, you're actually allowed to save and quit to get out of it. I need to do this menu properly. That's actually the hardest menu in the run for me. You can just jump over those two pits. You don't have to dash. Also, jumping diagonally when you have piece of power isn't worth it because it's as fast as moving normally. Oh, I almost soft locked there. That would have been bad. Oh, whoops. I hope that's right. I'm gonna do another flock clip here. I wasn't clipped far enough. There we go. Clip past the key block. So we actually skip 2 keys in this dungeon. Also, that's a ladder drop right there. If you hold down for a certain amount of frames and up at the top of a ladder, you'll just fall down it rather than having to climb down it. I open my map to skip the boss text. I'm gonna bonk twice to make the boss drop down and avoid getting stunned. Alright, split him up. Bonk and slash my sword a couple times and he's dead. A lot of the bosses in this game have like really easy quick kills. It's pretty neat. And that's Dungeon 3. So we're coming up on a skip called Walrus Skip. But first we need to get there, obviously. So what Walrus Skip is, it uses a bomb trigger, which basically means if you put down 2 bombs, like in quick succession like that, like within 4 frames of each other, the game doesn't know what to do, so it just triggers any available cutscene, or in this case, it gets rid of the owl animations. And you're not supposed to be able to put down 2 bombs within 4 frames of each other, but you can if you do it on a transition. So that's what I did there. That particular bomb trigger is actually subpixel based. Sometimes it doesn't work because of your subpixels. I tried to clip into the wall there, but I failed. If you clip into the wall, you'll avoid getting hit by the fish. Alright, so this is like actually Walrus Skip coming up. I'm gonna do like a pretty cool setup for it. I jump to the transition, so I always have the same subpixel. I put down a bomb, open my menu immediately so I can equip arrows, and then I buffer the bomb and right out of the transition, and it'll trigger the cutscene. However, for Walrus Skip specifically, you can actually soft lock if you do it wrong, and it's not a soft lock you can get out of by doing a save and quit menu either. Because you won't be able to use any of your buttons aside from the D-pad, and not even the D-pad if you're unlucky. Alright, so we're gonna go up here, because like I said, you can't use any of your buttons right now. Pressing A and B, nothing is happening, but entering a cave fixes that. Alright, so this is Lenmola. That was Lenmola. I have to listen for an audio cue there. So, you can actually hit Lemola before he appears, which is what happened there. And, I was pushing in the corner, and I let go at a certain, time, using an audio cue, so I could pick up the key without falling into the pit. Which saved, like, 15 seconds or something. It's quite a lot. And now we're gonna go back, because we don't need to be here anymore. We're gonna go use the warp point. Just like that. And now we're a lot closer than to Dungeon 4. So for a piece of power in Dungeon 5 is mostly up to whether or not Bao decides to be hungry. Because if he eats a lot, you'll get it before Dungeon 5, which is bad. Because if you change submaps, basically, so if you enter like a cave or a dungeon, you'll lose piece of power. Also, taking a hit there is actually pretty good because that avoids an acorn from dropping in my way. And it's just slow if an acorn drops in your way. At least in this area. In dungeons, though, like if you want a piece of power to drop, and you have an acorn, a piece of power won't drop because one won't drop if you have the other. Also, don't forget to unlock D4, kids. Alright, the only reason we went there is to unlock D4. Piece of power is what you want, though. Acorns are kind of useless. They like reduce the damage you take by half, but that's not useful for the speedrun. Oh wow, I took a hit there. This is not going well. Wow. Yeah, I don't know why I jumped so early for that, to dodge that projectile. Alright, that's obstacle skip. If you're high up enough, you can actually jump over that obstacle and it saves like 0.25 seconds. And if you fall into the pit, it wastes like 2 seconds. But it's still worth it, trust me. Alright, so we're gonna go grab these bombs and go back. So, Dungeon 4 is kind of short. We actually split it up in 2 parts. Reason for that being is if you do it in one go, a long ghost side quest will start, and if you don't, if you like finish Dungeon 4 after getting the level 2 bracelet in D6, that ghost quest will never start. Whoops. Alright, that's also what I like to call dumb jump number 1, because it's a very tricky jump, and there's a lot of things going on, a lot of RNG in that room, so you can just get screwed over a lot. But I got it first try, that's nice. Alright, so this is Cue Ball. He's a very hard mini-boss. That was Cue Ball. So we just, like, stun lock him there. And with 4 spin slashes, he's dead. So, we get the flippers, and now we leave, because we need the flippers to get to Dungeon 5. That's the only reason we really go to Dungeon 4. Before going to Dungeon 5. Alright, so let's not get eaten by the like. I haven't seen a piece of power drop yet, which is good. Because I want it to drop in Dungeon 5. Which is where we're headed right now. Oops. Kind of messed up my movement there. So, we should be getting a piece of power. Let's see, we're gonna, like, swim to it, because that's the only way to get there. Also, if you mash feather when you're under a ceiling underwater, you can move faster. It's kind of neat. Alright, so Dungeon 5. Dungeon 5 is objectively the worst dungeon. It's really hard and really long. And I didn't get a piece of power yet. Interesting. I haven't been paying attention to my kills. So it might have dropped with Cue Ball, which it actually can't because Cue Ball drops a fairy. No, it dropped right there. I was just really behind on kills. Interesting. That's okay, as long as we get it. Yeah, as I was saying, piece of power actually can't drop with Cue Ball. So if it's supposed to drop there, it just won't drop at all. Okay. So now we have piece of power. That's going to make things a lot easier. And actually already took a hit. If you take 3 hits to enemies with piece of power, you'll just lose it. It's kind of dumb. I'm also going to be killing a lot of things I don't really need to kill here. What am I doing? Wow. Awful menu. That's to manipulate a piece of power in Dungeon 6, which is also the hardest piece of power you can get. Because there's just, like, it's so far into the run, it's really hard to control how many kills you get. I'm gonna try to make an early cycle here. Let's see if I can get it. I should be able to. Yeah, cool. You can move over that spark. It doesn't save much time, but it's cool. I like it. So you kill this guy with 2 bombs. If you shoot 4 bomb arrows at the Master Stelphos, he actually dies, and you get a key, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how that plays out in the rest of the dungeon, if you even get the hook shot at all, which is the item he drops when you kill him 4 times, which is what we're gonna do. Alright, so we kill these guys, move over here. Yeah, I just like have some visual and audio cues for these 2 fights. Whoops. Alright, I'm gonna do something called a naked super jump here, which is a super jump that doesn't use a sword or an item, I should just say. And they're kind of tricky to do, because I'm having a lot of trouble with this. Ah, come on. This isn't even that hard, I don't know what I'm doing wrong right now. I have no idea what's going on. Wow. I'm tempted to just equip Sword right now. There we go. That's not hard. I don't know what I was doing there. Come on. I'm gonna dive. This is where we get the boss key for Dungeon 5. You can do a damage boost, but I don't want to risk losing piece of power here. Oops, you can also dive here in the water if you go far enough, but I missed it. Alright, dumb jump number 2. This is also a pretty tricky jump. You have a very tight frame window you can get this in. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, I lost my momentum. Interesting. Yeah, this is why this is dumb jump number 2. I don't usually fill this much, though. There we go. That's it. It's not as hard as I make it out to be, but it's still pretty tricky. Alright, so I'm gonna kill these guys. I actually still need to get some more kills, because I'm kind of low on kills right now, I feel like. Shit, that guy also moved out of my way. That's not good. I'm not gonna kill those guys, because that's really slow. Huh. Okay. I tried to kill those, but that didn't work out. So we're moving back to this room again, because the Master Stelphos is actually here this time. Alright, so this is what we call the Disclude pixel. Shout out to Disclude. And if you stand on a specific vertical pixel, You can just kill this guy with 3 bomb arrows to the right. You kill him with 3 bomb arrows either way, but you just don't have to adjust your position if you're on the disclude pixel. Wow, I can't speak. Holy heck. Okay, so I'm gonna kill these guys again. And wow. Awful. This is also a part of the reason why Dungeon 5 is the worst dungeon. Losing piece of power there isn't the worst though, because I'll have to get rid of it either way. Wow. Because if you have piece of power, it actually makes the boss fight a little harder. Because it actually gives the boss invincibility frames for some reason. Don't ask me why, it just does. Alright, so this is dumb jump number 3. I really hope I don't die here. That would be insanely painful. There we go. Okay. So this is also one of the slightly harder bosses. He's still not that bad, but he's still kind of tricky. So this is Wall Snake. He's gonna come out of either one of these 4 holes. Which one is RNG? But you can just stand in the middle and react. He takes 8 hits. There we go. Not the worst. So I'm gonna stand at the top and hookshot him, hoping to pick the heart up quickly. Saves a little bit of time because you don't have to move. And that's it for Dungeon 5. Like I said, the worst dungeon. Dungeon 5 has like a lot of cool movement if you do it fast, but that was not a good Dungeon 5 at all. So we're gonna mash Feather on the water here because it's fast. You can actually buffer a jump out of the transition there, and you'll just actually jump out of the water. It's pretty cool. Now we're going to make our way over to the Armos Maze, which has the key for Dungeon 6. Nice damage boost. I'm gonna need to just pray this guy doesn't drop a bomb. Because he can be a bit of a troll sometimes. Sometimes he just drop a bomb that you can't avoid. Ooh, that was actually a perfect time to drop a bomb. It actually gave me a damage boost. You can kind of manip Bow eating some things in this maze, but it's not consistent. And we're just gonna make our way through it, really. So I want to have 4 arrows entering D6. Usually after D5 you'll have 2. So it kind of relies on hold on. Kind of relies on arrows in Armos Maze. Ooh, I screwed that up. Rip, dude. Come on. That was not good. You can do something called bootstraps there, where you kill him in 2 cycles. But I messed it up, unfortunately. So I can't show that off. Hopefully I can in the marathon run, though. Because it looks cool when you get it. Also, you can just clip past that Armos and he won't hit you. Ooh, Bow ate that Armos. That's really lucky. He hardly ever eats that Armos, so that's cool. Whoops, I screwed up that menu. It's fine. Yeah, just gonna pick up these rocks / sword at the bushes. I'm gonna go around this way. If you go around the right side, you actually have to damage boost past that Armos, and he deals 2 hearts of damage. So I'd rather not risk that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot a bomb arrow at the dungeon, and then put in the key in the keyhole, and Bao will eat the cutscene. Because Bao can eat cutscenes in this game. Yes, he's that powerful. So let's see if I get a piece of power in this dungeon. Preferably I'd get it early, because there's like you can like divide the 6 pieces of power into 2 parts, either early or late. If you get it early, that's good. If you get it late, that's hardly worth it. Oh, I got it. Nice. There it is. It's kind of out of the way, but it's whatever. So I need to not get hit twice here. That could get annoying. Okay. That was awful, but whatever. Okay, so you can only kill the whiz ropes with bombs. It's kind of annoying sometimes. And that's the level 2 bracelet. From here on out, the ghost side quest can't start anymore. So we're gonna go back to the start of the dungeon, because the only reason we went to that part of the dungeon is to get the level 2 bracelet. Ooh, I fell in that pit. Interesting. That's a new one. I'm gonna do something called invulnerability glitch there. If you hookshot an object when standing right next to it, you can become invincible until you use hookshot again or transition. And I'm gonna kill these last 4 floor tiles with the hookshot because it's fast. Let's see if I can do this room properly. This is a kind of tough room with piece of power, because you have to do a well-timed sword slash at that whiz robe. Because if you just hold your sword out, which is what you would do if you don't have piece of power, he actually won't get hit by the bomb. And it's like insanely slow. That pot only opens if you throw a pot at it. Yeah, that pot only opens, yeah. The chest only opens if you throw a pot at it. Alright, so this super jump, you can actually soft lock on. I didn't, though. If you're too high up, you'll just get stuck in the wall and you have to save and quit. That's also the last time you can soft lock in the run. Although there's a very good visual cue for that super jump, so you should never soft lock if you pay attention. Alright, so this is Horseheads. Horseheads is complete RNG. You need them to both face up, but they're not really cooperating. That was like 5th try. I was also like struggling a bit with picking them up. Another flock clip there, just like the one I did before. Just move around those guys a little and you can just pull them into the pit. Alright, so this is Facade, the boss of Dungeon 6. We can hit him before he appears. 3 times. After that, I rely on an audio cue and a visual cue, so I'm gonna shut up for a bit. Right, there we go. He takes 5 bombs and he's dead. So he should die to that bomb. Yep, cool. Also has like the longest death animation ever for some reason. Nobody knows why, but it just takes so long. Okay, so that was Dungeon 6. And when I leave Dungeon 6, I'm actually going to do a bomb trigger to skip the owl animations. Hopefully I'll get it. It's not a particularly hard bomb trigger. You can also buffer bomb triggers, actually, by just opening your menu and buffering the inputs out of it. But, I got it. But it's slow because every menu takes 2 seconds. Okay. So, now we're gonna move back to Dungeon 4 because we have the level 2 bracelet. We can finish D4 now without getting the ghost side quest. Okay. So we're gonna move back here, swim through the water for a bit. And actually a pretty cool super jump is coming up in D4 itself, which you'll see in a second. So I'm gonna equip Bracelet to skip the dungeon text. Because whenever you enter a dungeon, you can open your start menu to skip the text. And if you need to do an equip anyway, that's worth it. Alright, so this is the super jump. You just super jump into the P-hat when he lifts off, and it'll just change your direction in midair, and you'll land on that platform. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is the hardest boss in the game. That was the hardest boss in the game. You just use a sword slash, or a spin slash, and 2 bomb arrows, and he dies. That's basically it. And that's it for Dungeon 4 as well. Now we're coming up on Dungeon 7. There's not really much I can say during these instrument cutscenes, so I guess they would be good times for donations. Okay, so coming up is like a really notorious and hard trick in this game. It's called Rooster Skip. I guess I'll explain it when I get to it, but first we need to actually get to it. Whoops. Okay. So we're gonna move over back this way because we need to get to this area again. And the owl talks to us again. Not as much this time. Okay. So I'm actually gonna equip boots on B because I'm used to having hookshot on B, which will like come into my menuing later. And this is the second time I get obstacle skip. Nice. So you do that skip twice in the run, and it saves a half a second total, but it's still worth it though. Trust me. All right, so we're gonna go up here, and normally you're supposed to get a rooster here to fly over this giant pit. But we're gonna use something called hookshot jumping, so I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit, and I can focus on the skip itself. Nice. First try both times. That was really good. So, on the frame, the hookshot completely retracts. You can actually jump. So it's a double frame perfect trick. And I just got it first try both times, which is really cool. And you did see that Bao actually got in my way for a little bit. Fortunately, he actually left pretty much instantly. Because if Bao just stays there, you'll just infinitely be shooting your hook shot against him and eventually just fall down, which is really bad. Because if you fall down on that skip, you have to walk all the way back to that cave. And it wastes like 30 seconds or something. It's quite ridiculous. I'm glad I got it fast though. So we hookshot over to that side. Get over here. And we're actually coming up on Dungeon 7. So I'm actually gonna make Bao also eat this cutscene by just like throwing that rock into the dungeon, or at least close to it. This might be a gold. Nice gold. So yeah, you can also put in that key from the side. That was bad movement there, but whatever. So I do a late super jump there, because if you do the super jump at full height, it doesn't work and you get stuck in the wall. You can't soft lock on it, but you just get stuck in the wall. So, this Soul has to die or these bomb triggers won't work because LADX. Ooh, that's fun. That's fine. I did not mean to drop into that pit, so that's gonna be interesting. Pretty low on bombs right now. So I'll explain these bomb triggers, I guess. I can't really waste any more bombs. Yeah, I'm running low on bombs. I'm gonna buffer these because at this point it's not worth it to risk wasting the bombs. So these bomb triggers, you can do them on pits, because on pits you can also drop them within 4 frames of each other. Yeah, falling into that pit was pretty unfortunate. Come on. Alright, so another naked super jump there. Normally I would activate this switch coming up here with bombs, but I kind of don't have any bombs left. So I'll grab 2 extra bombs here actually. So yeah, I have to do it with my sword. Grabbing 2 just in case. And this is Goomba Surf. Oh, I screwed that up. I had good RNG too. So for Goomba Surf, it's like pixel perfect. What do I say this? Oh, okay. It's pixel perfect vertically, because there's a specific vertical pixel you need to be on, because you need to be clipped 1 pixel into the wall, and then you need the top Goomba to move over to the right, and then do a naked super jump over him, and you can make it onto the platform. So this is also a pretty easy boss. You just drop 3 bombs and he's dead, which is the reason we can skip the mirror shield. And that's it. Well, this is not necessarily the reason, because there's also another place where you're supposed to use the mirror shield. We never get it, though. We can just skip it completely. Alright, so that's Dungeon 7. I should menu over, and there we go. So yeah, a little more about Goomba Surf. Like, it's supposed to be a 1 in 4 chance for the Goomba to move over to the right, but I feel like it's more like a 1 in 6 or something. And that's about 15 seconds faster than the old strat. If you get good RNG, that is. And, if you, like, if you get stuck in the wall like I did, you can actually dash out sometimes with the boots. That's also the case with the Dongo skip in D3. You can also sometimes dash out of that. Oh fuck. Oh. Wow, I hacked that up twice. That's impressive. So welcome to hold left and mash feather. That's how you do that. And you can just jump over. It's pretty cool. If you're actually too high there, you'll just interact with Marin and it'll trigger like a minute-long cutscene. It's the best meme. Ah, heck. Sometimes I mess up my menus. It happens. It's not that I mess up the menu itself, it's just I mess up the inputs for it. Because I know my menus by heart. Alright, so I'm gonna drop a bomb here, and that will actually, whoops, that'll blow up that. Just in time for me to arrive there. I'm not clipped far enough. You need to be completely clipped to that wall in order to do what I just did, which is flame skip. And normally you'll just get knocked back by that flame, and you have to like use mirror shield. What am I doing? I have to use mirror shield to get past it. But we never got mirror shield, so yeah, we need to clip past it and just take the hit. Oh, I meant to open my menu there, but that's okay. Okay, so you can actually jump. Well, you can actually like cancel that floor tile making thing while it's going and just dash off of it. You can also use your A and B buttons while those things are going, which you'll see me do again later in the form of jumping. Alright. So I guess I could mention, which I haven't mentioned before, picking up keys is also based on a global frame rule. The first time it only bounces for one frame, and you can only pick it up on a global frame, which means every other frame. So you just need to get good luck if you want to get it on the first bounce. You'll always pick it up on the second bounce, though. Okay. So we're gonna move through here. And this is Blano. You can actually skip Blano. If you super jump over the like that pushable block, which you actually can't push in that room, and like on the bottom of the screen, like in the middle of the screen, if that makes sense, those tiles look like tiles you can walk on, right? Well, they're not, because you can't, there's no way to actually get to them. So it's considered out of bounds. Which is pretty funny. Okay. So, I'm gonna jump while this thing is going to save some time on movement. Do another ladder drop there. And for those of you that miss cue ball, here he is again. He's dead again, though, unfortunately. So next room is what we call the room. If you mess up a single directional input in this room, you have to start over. And it's really easy to mess this up as well. Also, everybody kind of has like their own route for this room, like with the block and jumps, and everyone does it differently, which is neat. I jump like at the very end. Some people like jump at the very start. It differs a lot. Also, frame perfect. Jesus, jump there. What I did there was I paused when the splash sprite showed up, and that allowed me to jump and actually like get pushed a pixel into the wall, and that let me wall clip. Oh, come on, I'm not doing well in this fight at all. That let me wall clip, basically meaning I could super jump over the lava and get to the boss room really easily. Also, that was Hothead, the most mysterious boss in this entire game. Nobody understands his HP. Wang boys. Nobody understands his HP. He's really finicky. Sometimes you'll just get him in one cycle. Sometimes it takes 10. Well, 10 is a little exaggerated, but sometimes he just does not cooperate, and nobody knows why. Alright, so that was D8, the last dungeon. Oh, whoops. Wow. So now we're gonna get to the most RNG heavy part of the run, which is very fun if you're on PB pace. Because the Windfish's egg, there's like 3 or 4 very time-consuming RNG segments in it, which I'll go over when we get there. We need to actually get there first, though. Oh, whoops, I went into widescreen by accident. And the owl's here again, but he just needs to heck off. Gonna do a bomb trigger to activate this cutscene. And we actually completely skip the ocarina by using bomb triggers. And it's pretty neat. Alright. So this would also be a good time to read donations. So I guess I'll explain the fight before we get there, because the fight can go pretty quickly. First, the final fight of this game has a couple phases. I think it's 6. We start off with the blob. We can do a quick kill on him, but it's partially RNG based. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, it wastes like 10-15 seconds. After that, we get Aghanim. He can give you blue balls, which waste 8 seconds each time you get one. And he can give you an infinite amount of them. There's no cap. After that, we have Ganon, which isn't RNG. Then it's Lanmola. And after Lanmola, we get Deathel, and he can just take ages to open his eye, which is what you want him to do. Alright, so this is Blob. I position myself by bonking into the wall. I didn't get the quick kill, though. What am I doing? Yeah, if I'd gotten the quick kill, he would have just kept shaking. Instead, I need to kill him with powder. So Aghanim. The first 2 are actually guaranteed energy balls. After that, it's a 50% chance to get a blue ball. And you can actually manipulate him as well. If he moves back to the same place, if you move an odd amount of pixels, he'll give you a different type of ball. But only if he moves back to the same place. Because there's also sub-pixels involved if he doesn't move to the same place. I think that was a blue ball. I'm not sure. Alright, let's see. Oh, another blue ball. Now, I think the first one might have been an energy ball, and I might have just messed up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so, I actually forgot to mention this one. This is, Moldorm. You just do a spin slash and keep slashing to stun lock him, and he dies. He actually takes like 16 hits normally, and it takes 15 billion years to kill him. So if you screw that up, it's very costly. Alright, so that's Lanmola again. So this is, whoops, I forgot I equipped powder. This is Deathel. We need to hit him with 16 arrows. And when he opens his eye is RNG. So let's hope for good RNG. Let's see. He needs to open it 2 more times. You can get a 4 cycle if you do well. I hit 1 arrow early, so I missed the 4 cycle, but that was still really good RNG. And that's a 58, which is pretty decent. It's not the best, but it's okay. So time is when the screen completely fades to white, and that was it. So yeah, that's Link's Awakening DX, any percent, no save and quit, no wrong warp, no out of bounds.